Hello again and welcome to Union Insider, Summer of Soccer Edition. Along with Dave Leno, I'm Sage Hurley.
Sage, it's great to be back with you. Moreover, we have a knockout win by the U.S. men's national team that we all certainly love. We're going to break that down in a few moments.
That's right, Dave. The Stars and Stripes defeated Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0 in the round of 32 on Wednesday night, punching their ticket to the round of 16 and earning their first World Cup knockout win since 2002. They ended a 10-match losing streak to European opponents in the process. After having a goal disallowed in the first half, Folarin Balogun opened the scoring just before halftime with a stunning finish off a deflected ball. He's been in the spotlight all tournament, and it remained that way as his night ended early with a controversial red card in the 64th minute. That means the United States' leading goal scorer so far in this tournament will miss the round of 16.
Now, on a positive note, even though they were down to 10 men, the U.S. did not falter. Malik Tillman buried a free kick in the 82nd minute to give the U.S. a little breathing room to see out the result and advance with a 2-0 victory and a clean sheet for Matt Freese. The U.S. will now face Belgium in the round of 16. The Red Devils came back down 2-0 to stun Senegal 3-2 in extra time earlier on Wednesday.
Joining us to talk more about the United States' result over Bosnia and Herzegovina is Sheanon Williams. Sheanon, when the whistle blew and the score read 2-0, what was your immediate reaction?
I thought it was a complete performance by the U.S. I thought they played really well, and it was important to see that, especially in a knockout game, them handle that pressure. And I thought that they not only handled it, but they rose to the occasion. They got the goals that they needed, and they're moving on to the next stage.
The big story from this match was Folarin Balogun, both the good and the bad. What did you make of his play?
So obviously he gets the goal, and he's been on fire for us, and that's what makes the red card so disappointing, not having him against Belgium in that next game. He's been the out-and-out star number 9 for this U.S. men's national team, and to not have him out there will be tough in the next game. I did think it was a deserved red card. It's unfortunate. It was definitely a mistake, but just the contact and where it's at, it's got to be a red.
So you think it was the right decision by the referee?
I think so. I think especially after you get to sit down and look at it with the VAR, I think there's no other choice but to give him the red.
Yeah, I know they had a ton of looks, but slow motion with VAR is not used to see the severity of the play. You know I love you. You're a defender. You know the game better than me, but I think it's a yellow card. I think it was a very harsh decision by the referee and the VAR crew. But Sheanon, I want to speak to the composure of the U.S. men's national team towards the back 30 minutes of that game to see that out, even though they were down a man. What did you think of the alignment defensively?
Yeah, obviously there was a nervy, 20-plus minutes. So I thought they did a good job of just handling that pressure, understanding that they were still up in the game and that they just needed to see out the game. They smartly looked for that second goal, and they were able to get it through Tillman.
We also saw the return of Christian Pulisic to the starting lineup. Pulisic played 88 minutes before being substituted for Ricardo Pepi. What did you make of his return to the group?
Good to see him back out on the field. I thought he looked healthy. I thought that he looked sharp and just dangerous as always. So, again, just want to see him continue to evolve, get better, get healthier as this tournament goes on. We know he's going to be important, especially with Flo out in this next game.
Former Philadelphia Union homegrown Matt Freese made a massive save early on off a corner to keep the match level. How impressed are you in his performance, and do you think this team really sees him as the guy? Do they trust him? And as a defender, how far does that trust go in a game?
It's everything. I think they definitely have the trust with each other, not only with Matt Freese with his back line, but vice versa, back line with Matt Freese. Getting that save early on in the game always makes you feel more comfortable, and you're seeing him just put in solid performance after solid performance.
I like how the U.S. took it to Bosnia early on in the game because, like I expected, I thought Bosnia and Herzegovina was going to sit back and try to counter. Now, they don't have the lethal counterattacking playmakers that maybe some other clubs around the world do. But the U.S. with the high line of confrontation led by Ream and Richards, I think that needs to continue for the U.S. How do you think that they should do moving forward?
I think that's been a trend for them, starting the game on the front foot, looking to press, looking to really be high energy and get that crowd behind them. I think they're going to continue to do that. I think they'll take a little bit more risk in the earlier parts of games, trying to get themselves in it, trying to take over that game. We'll have to see if against some of the stronger opponents they sit a little bit more, maybe have that line of confrontation a little bit deeper. It'll be interesting to see how Mauricio Pochettino plays these next games.
Maybe not the biggest game for Weston McKennie in the matchup, but what do you make of him in the middle and how he has that interchange with the fluidity of a Dest coming up on the right, Tillman, or maybe some of the others like Pulisic over on the left?
Yeah, I think he's been one of the U.S.'s best midfielders. I think his his runs in behind, his runs to get into the box, really give teams a problem, really make defenders move and adjust to his movement on the field. He's done such a good job just coming into the tournament ready to go, sharp, coming off a good season with Juventus.
More U.S. men's national team conversation coming up after this. We're heading to break with this week's trivia question presented by United Concordia. In the 1994 FIFA World Cup, the U.S. men's national team played a round of 16 match on July 4th. Who was their opponent? The answer comes later in the show. Union Insider Summer of Soccer Edition is back after this. Philadelphia fans embraced the Ivory Coast during their stay in Chester, and last week defender Gayla Douay returned the favor, taking some time to interact with some Union youth players during a recent event at the Wisfis Bank Sportsplex. Ivory Coast's run in this World Cup may be over, but I think it's safe to say they've gained quite a few new fans in the city of brotherly love. Back here on set with Dave and Sheanon, we're going to turn the page on the inaugural round of 32 and look ahead to the U.S. men's national team's round of 16. Next up, a matchup with Belgium, the same side that knocked the U.S. out of the 2014 World Cup. That matchup also occurred in the round of 16. Sheanon, how do these two teams stack up?
I think you have one team that's in form and you have one team that's on the back end of that run that they've had with their magical team of Belgium stars. And I think that this is a team that is on their last legs, that looked like they were struggling in their last game. Can the U.S. do a good job of just taking advantage of that, trying to be not the underdog anymore, but the one that's hunting?
In this matchup, I think it's going to be a decision for the U.S. men's national team manager Pochettino to see how his defenders will handle the press, because I look up at Belgium's side. I expect them to high press the U.S. men's national team, and I feel like those defenders led by Ream and Richards have to be patient building out of the back. How do you think the U.S. will fare if there's that high line?
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job passing out of the back. They've done a really good job to change their setup at times to see what's working, whether it's Dest on the right-hand side, getting high and wide. You talked about Robinson on that left-hand side. They're just going to have to tinker and see if they can get through that first 20 minutes, see if they can make some adjustments, and then go from there.
They had to chase that game against Senegal. Do you think that adds to their momentum, that they came back and won, or do you think that provides some tired legs?
I definitely have to go with the tired legs, especially going into overtime, the energy that they expended to come back in the game being down 2-0. I think for Belgium, it's now about the recovery. How much recovery can they get in the next few days before that next game? Obviously, the U.S. has been out on the West Coast and in some pretty decent weather, so I think that's going to start to come into effect for some of these teams as we get into the later stages.
Let's dive a bit deeper into personnel for this one. Like we spoke about earlier in the show, Folarin Balogun is the U.S. leading scorer and will be suspended as a result of his red card. Who needs to step up in his place?
I think it's going to be Ricardo Pepi. I think that's why you gave him the minutes in the group stage and you've made sure that he's gotten in the game so that when his time is needed to be called upon, that he's ready to go. I think he's set up for a big game. We could also see Haji Wright come out for an appearance. I think that could be something that could be thrown into the mix to kind of throw off Belgium.
Dave, who do you think needs to step up?
I think Tyler Adams needs to be that connector from the back line, as I referenced a moment ago, towards the guys up top in that attacking four sequence for the U.S. men's national team. Adams needs to put out fires. Doku with his pace over on the left, Trossard as well. The playmaking of Kevin De Bruyne, who's having a fantastic season for Napoli too. I think Tyler Adams is that unsung hero that you don't see him kind of stand out when you watch U.S. games, and he's the focal point, I think, for the U.S. organization-wise in the matchup.
In 2014, it was Tim Howard who nearly stole the match for the United States with a stellar 15-save performance. How good will Matt Freese need to be in this next game to keep the U.S. going?
We know Belgium has a lot of quality, especially in that front three with the likes of Doku, Lukaku. Dave talked about Kevin De Bruyne, so they have a lot of quality. He's going to be on his best performance and going to have a really good performance. We've seen some great performances from goalkeepers in the knockout stages. Hopefully Matt Freese will add to that.
Will be a decision that the Belgian manager will have to make, whether he starts Charles de Ketelaere or Lukaku up top. Lukaku with a late goal in the matchup against Senegal. And what I saw Senegal do in that matchup, I thought that was very well. One of their goals was a very long ball that the back line for where Belgium was playing high and they were disorganized. I think the U.S. can play a little bit more direct than they've done in previous games. That's one. And then the second is what we referenced early on in the show, and that's putting in a plethora of crosses, and that's Pulisic, that's Dest on the left and the right respectively. How have you assessed the crossing of the U.S. team in the first couple of games, and how much of that will be a factor, do you feel, against Belgium?
I think it's been one of their strong points, especially out wide in those moments. They've done a really good job to get end line, get crosses into the box, and create chances. We've seen them get goals off of some of the service, and they've got to continue to do that. Can they maybe add in some set pieces to really help you get goals when the going gets tough, especially in these later stages against better opponents? I think that they're really going to have to use all their tricks in their bag to get past Belgium.
A victory Monday would be historic for the U.S. men's national team. Since finishing third at the inaugural World Cup in 1930, they've only been past the round of 16 once, back in 2002. What would be the impact of repeating that feat on home soil?
Yeah, so you saw the game last night and you saw how excited people were. That's only going to continue to build the further this team can take it. And I do think that they have a strong chance against Belgium to then advance to the quarterfinals, someplace that they haven't been in a long time. So I believe in this team. I think that they're in a good run of form, and I think that boost from the U.S. fans is really going to push them over the top.
I went down to Lemon Hill Fan Fest in Philly for the U.S. game on Wednesday. I saw the energy there. I went to an American Outlaws party at Top Tomato for another group stage game. The energy is in Philadelphia. I want to ask both of you, has there been a moment you've seen in the city this summer that's shown you, wow, this U.S. soccer thing is really starting to catch on?
I think all the videos from Lemon Hill, like you talked about, they've done such a good job up there and just making it a super friendly and great atmosphere. And I think seeing the U.S. fans there last night and how they're celebrating these goals, not only here but across the United States, has been really fun.
What do you think, Dave?
Everybody's got the World Cup fever. There's a lot of fans around the Delaware Valley that are sports fans, maybe not diehard soccer fans, but they're believing in the U.S. team, and they're also believing in the job that Philadelphia did. Number one, they made Lemon Hill and FanFest free. I think that was a slam dunk and exactly the right thing to do. All the watch parties around the city. And then what I see, around the Philadelphia suburbs is you're getting kids wearing the U.S. men's national team jerseys. And with the sticker books, including my son Hudson, following all these international players that they might not be accustomed to seeing week in and week out. So there's an education, you get the bug, and then all of a sudden I want to do what Sheanon does all the time. I want to play outside and run around with the little ones.
I've been with the sticker book, so I got my own sticker book.
There you go. Right there with you.
How exciting. Guys, it's time to open things up to the rest of the round of 16 with our Subaru key games. Sheanon, you're up first. Aside from the U.S. game, which match do you have circled on your calendar?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mexico-England. In Mexico City, I think England is going to have a tough time dealing with not only the altitude but the fans. I think Mexico is in a really good run of form. They haven't given up a goal yet this tournament. All things are pointing for me towards Mexico winning this game.
What do you think, Dave?
I'm going with Brazil and Norway. Of course, Brazil, five-time champs, have been to the quarterfinals 4 of the last 5, won their last title in 2002. Vinny Jr. has been great. He scored in 3 of the last 4 games. Casemiro has been strong. But Norway, can they play spoiler and can they be the upset-minded country in this matchup? Holland's been terrific as well. Antonio Nusa is an explosive winger on the outside. Remember, Norway last appeared in the World Cup in 1998. I think they are going to have a really good showing in this matchup. And you know what we want to do? We want to do a little bit more rowing. Can we see it again, guys, with a full shot here? Let's row that boat here for Norway.
As much as I want to see some more rowing, personally, I cannot wait for that England-Mexico El Tri match at Estadio Azteca. Wow, how exciting. What an environment that'll be. That will be appointment TV in my house. We're taking a hydration break. Really needed this week in Philly. I hope everyone's staying safe and cool. But when we return, we'll take you down to the FIFA Fan Festival to hear what this World Cup has been like from a fan's perspective. For the first time in Union history, the club had 2 active players take part in the World Cup. Unfortunately, both of their World Cup journeys have come to an end. Haiti failed to reach the knockout rounds, but Union midfielder Danley Jean-Jacques started all 3 group stage matches, and in doing so, became the first active Union player to appear in a World Cup. South Africa was eliminated by Canada in the round of 32, and while Awetu Makanya did not make an appearance in the tournament, the young Union defender gained valuable experience and broke into the national team for the first time in his career. Congratulations to both players for representing both club and country so well. Moving on, this past week, yours truly took some time to go down to the FIFA Fan Fest at Lemon Hill to chat with both local and visiting fans about their experience in Philadelphia during this World Cup. Here's what they had to say. What has been the best part about having the World Cup here in Philly?
Well, every day, well not every day, but I bring my son here often. So spending family time, seeing other cultures, and just enjoying life.
I like the fans. I like the Ivory Coast fans. I'm not a big fan of Orange, but I think I am now.
We came here to make memories for the island, for us as friends, family, so it's a big thing for us.
Just all the fans from all across the world being so excited to be in America and having like a great time. Things that we take for granted, they're loving.
Just like the liveliness of the city, having everybody around and supporting each other is nice.
Seeing the fans, went to the Brazil game, so I was like Brazilian for like the night and just interacting with different cultures and like wanting to expand my reason like what it means for soccer for everyone else.
What about you guys? What has been your favorite moment about having the World Cup here in Philadelphia?
I just love like the amount of people getting into soccer. Like I was here for the US game and the amount of people who were just here and like actually getting to learn it, know the sport was really cool.
I love meeting people from like everywhere. Like you talk to people like, where are you from? They're from every part of the world. It is just so cool that they're all here in Philly.
I would say seeing the fans react to the game. Like yesterday I was here and seeing the Ecuador fans cheer and be excited. It was just an amazing experience.
The camaraderie of all the people that are coming out and supporting their teams, and how wonderful it's been here in Philly for it.
I don't know, man. It's awesome. Like it's a unique experience, I will say. Just enjoying, having people everywhere. Sorry, Jake. Yeah, I don't know.
What he said.
I think it's just bringing people together, getting the soccer fans out.
Honestly, just seeing the amount of people from all different walks of life just gathering together and enjoying a common game that's been the best part.
Honestly, just seeing the cultures, everyone coming to town, everyone's been great. The fan fest has been awesome. I mean, this right now, this is the best, but it's fantastic. How often do you get to see everyone from around the world coming to your backyard?
You think the same?
Yeah, I like seeing everyone from the other countries go to the Rocky Steps, the museum steps. It's been a lot of fun.
Which country are you supporting in the World Cup?
The U.S.
I gotta go with USA. Both my countries are out, Chile and Italy, so yeah, we're going USA.
Yeah, USA. Second is Croatia. My grandfather was born there, so.
Of course, Curacao! Curacao! Brazil! Who do you think's gonna win the World Cup?
Brazil, maybe.
France.
So, let's go Curacao! Let's go Curacao!
Let's go USA!
So obviously you guys are big soccer fans. What's been your favorite moment of the group stage so far?
For me, I would say probably Cape Verde coming in with those ties. No one really thought they could do much, so yeah. It's been cool.
Probably seeing Holland. Holland score a couple games up in Boston, goals up in Boston. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that, and just watching all the games. It's been a great time watching every day. So just supporting Croatia and USA and Bosnia, so it's been awesome.
Oh, the US 4-1, for sure. That was a great start.
Balogun's second goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goal was
that
sweet.
goal was sweet.
It was awesome.
If you haven't been down to Lemon Hill yet, you have to get there. One more hydration break to sneak in. We'll put a bow on this one with our final whistle conversation next. You're watching Union Insider Summer of Soccer Edition, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We're back with the answer to this week's trivia question, presented by United Concordia. Earlier we asked, in the 1994 FIFA World Cup, the U.S. men's national team played a round of 16 match on July 4th. Who was their opponent? The answer, Brazil, who then went on to win the FIFA World Cup. That brings us to this week's final whistle discussion, presented by Allstate. This week's topic, who is the most important player as the U.S. goes into the round of 16? Sheanon, you're up first.
For me, I got to go with Christian Pulisic. This is all on him now. He needs to step up, especially with Flo getting the red card in that last game. If you're looking for goal scorers, it should be him. He should be the one to really carry the offensive load for this game, and also moving forward, just getting those reps, being in the games, getting the flow of the games. I think we still haven't seen the best of Christian.
What do you think, Dave?
So you go with the guy up top. I'm going to go with a defender in Tim Ream, the captain of this team, because you're about to play some Goliaths, some stalwarts that are clinical finishers with Belgium, and then it could be Spain. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but in a potential quarterfinal. So I think Ream needs to have the backline organized with Richards and also Robinson and Freeman. He has to know when to play the high line of confrontation. Then when he's caught, Will there be a guy like Tyler Adams and they can feed off one another who can put out that fire when there is an imminent counterattack, or when they need to play with a low block, or they need to play out of the back and have that organization with Matt Freese? I think that starts with Ream in this matchup. That's why he's a captain, and I think that he will lead, hopefully, to another fantastic matchup against Belgium.
I think we could talk about this World Cup and this USA team all day, but that's all we have time for this week. My thanks to Sheanon, Dave, and our whole crew here in the studio, and to you for hanging out with us here on Union Insider. We'll be back next week to talk more World Cup drama. Happy 4th of July, happy America 250. We'll see you next time.